I have a lot of self-worth issues, shame issues, where I feel not confident in what I do. And I've shared this with friends that recently I started reading tarot publicly. When I posted that I read tarot online to the world, I started crying. I cried so much, and I didn't know why. It wasn't like you where tarot or magic or fortune telling was rejected in my family. Actually, I have two first cousins who read tarot, so it was very familiar. Like, my parents were really familiar. We're all familiar with these things. But as for me, I knew there was something blocked, of me using my powers, tarot reading, psychic abilities, or whatever. Even if I had released some of it, I do still feel like couldn't see my worth of doing it. And that was one thing I was talking to Fiona about in our session as well. So we'd like to share the lessons that we've learned together. Because initially, I wanted her to share a case that wasn't me. But before we started the podcast, I was like, do you want to do a case study? And she was like, actually, we could do your case study. And I was like, okay.
It was an awesome session.
It was an awesome session. Yeah. So was it the first time that not the first time, if rare, that you took someone into hypnotherapy and then they were in a womb?
It's not the first time that I've had somebody go to the womb like you, but what was beautiful was that the womb work took you to a past life. So we went from womb to past life to a current life. We did 3 scenes. We went back to 3 scenes. And that is a very beautiful and rare combination. I've not experienced that before.
What struck you as a wow, cool session?
Well, I mean, first of all, I didn't have to prompt you, that you understood immediately that you'd gone back to the womb, because I didn't mention it before our session. I do tell people you could go back to a past life. It depends on the client, because some people might not be open to it. But I didn't mention that we could go back to a womb. And I said, what are you experiencing? And you said, it's bright, and I feel like I'm in the womb. But you didn't say it in a way like you thought you were crazy. You were just like, I'm in the womb.
No.
Yes, she gets it. She gets this.
No, because there was no other place. I thought at first I thought I was crazy, because no one said you could do hypnotherapy and go back to the womb.
Yeah.
You would imagine, okay, go back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Go back to maybe past life if that's going to come up. But in the womb is we don't expect ourselves to have memories or consciousness, right, in the womb. So how could my subconscious bring me back there? That was my first doubt of myself.
Yeah.
But then I stayed there for a while, and it was like, I can't be in another place.
And you allowed yourself to explore the feelings that you were having then. So you didn't let self-doubt stop you from, and that's a beautiful thing in itself, that you went, okay, there's a doubt, I'm not sure, but I'm going to just allow this experience to unfold. And you allowed that. Yeah. And then it became clear that you in the womb you were carrying a knowledge of a past life. Oh, and that's quite rare,
What happened in the session was we found out that I was scared to come out, to be born. But I was ready. It was very conflicting, and this is how I feel my whole life, because it was the problem I approached with Fiona. I was like, I know I want to do something, but I can't do it. I can't execute. I have self-esteem issue where I'm constantly creating problems for myself to not execute. So it's like a self-sabotage kind of way as well. It's you have to get to A, but you create B, C, D, E for yourself, so you can't get anywhere. And that's exactly how I felt in the womb, right? And then we went back to one of my past life where I felt similar to this joyful feeling of being ready, because we wanted to explore the fear of what was stopping me from going outside. Do you want to talk about that?
No, well, I mean, from my perspective, what was interesting when we went back to the past life was also that you went back to a joyful experience and you didn't doubt why you'd gone there, because a lot of people expect that they're going to be taken back to a negative experience.
Right.
And you allowed yourself to explore that, to feel, I mean, it was beautiful watching you, the energy that was flowing through you in that joyful moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I could feel what was coming. So I had, at a certain point, I said, okay, so what happens next?
Mm-hmm.
And that was when the gold started coming out as to why you in the womb had been afraid of what was coming. And you said a phrase, I can't remember the exact words now, but it was about, you knew you were going to go through the same thing again.
Oh yeah, I was frightened.
Yeah.
That I had to be born and then go through the same thing again.
The same life experiences again. And that's why you ended up getting taken back to that past life. Because, okay, so you know that you're going to go through something again. You can feel that. You have an intuitive ability that's quite refined and very clear. So what is it that you're going to go through again? And you took yourself back, like, amazingly.
Yeah.
First of all, to that really valuable experience that you needed to see, which was you being incredibly joyful.
Mm-hmm.
And then what killed the joy? Basically, that was what happened, right?
But that's usually in every case
Mm-hmm.
of hypno or past life, right? Like they would show you what killed your joy.
Yeah, but often people will get taken back just to a negative experience, whereas you explored that, your essence, your core, joyful, happy, radiant experience first. You let yourself feel that before you were taken to the explanation of so we were able to then explore that energy and help you to integrate that energy into yourself now.
I think it was just showing me just so they tell me like, this is you, like just to confirm that this is you, because you're familiar with this.
Yeah.
But and then they showed me of being hopeless later after apparently a man took my joyfulness away in this past life. Apparently he took it away, and I became depressed, hopelessness, and feeling shameful for making that mistake of talking to him. And I was telling Fiona this as well as the session was going through, like he sucked the life out of me. I was 14 years old. He sucked the life out of me. I felt like I lost my identity. I lost myself. And then the self-sabotage kicked in after I lost myself. And it was scary because this is exactly how I felt in this life. Something happened when I was 14, very similar to this. And then I started self-sabotaging again and again, criticizing myself for making the same mistake. So I was reliving the same thing.
I would say it kind of replicated itself in this lifetime, which is exactly what you knew in the womb was gonna happen.
Oh man. Okay, that now is clicking.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah. So Fiona guided me magically throughout the process of having me feel the wonderfulness of life. I mean, in the end, it's all about like accepting who we are, accepting our worth, and even if we don't do anything, even if we don't become anyone, we're worth the same amount, like this plant. I think that's how we need to understand what self-worth is that it's unconditional. No matter who you are born as, what you do, it's like that. It just is. And the more we accept it, the more we accept ourselves, the more we feel comfortable in our skin, and the more we can do the work that we're meant to do here. Yeah. So before we leave, I would like you to give the audience a little bit of a journaling prompt from this podcast session. Okay. Just something, a little homework for them to go back and do a reflection on.
Okay, well, my suggestion would be to do some conscious work around something that's very similar to the subconscious work that I do, which is look back and notice any recurrent memories that come up for you from childhood. So there might be one memory that you notice has come up a lot, because we forget so much, but yet there are some memories that really always come back to us. They might seem insignificant, But our mind tells us these things. Our mind repeats them for a reason until we get the message. So I would say have a look back into the past, see what recurrent memory is coming up, and have a think about what kind of message your subconscious mind is trying to tell you. Look at it from different angles. Nothing is too small, and you might come out with some gold.
Okay, and also pay attention to the emotions that come up with the memories as well, and the beliefs that came up.
Exactly.
Very important. How does it make you feel, and what does it mean to you when you feel that way? Works with everything.
And what does it mean about you? Because it's often the conclusions that we come to about ourselves that are what impacts us rather than the experience itself.
Yep, that's right. So if you love Fiona like I do, and if you resonate with this podcast, Fiona will be hosting more and more workshops. But one of the workshops is this Saturday, right? Is it Saturday? September 2nd at Slow Combo in Bangkok. She does do like one-on-ones all the time. You can visit her website, hypnoalchemy.com, link in the description below. And if you're interested in the workshop happening this Saturday, it's about unlocking financial freedom. So we deal a lot with like money, relationships, a lot with that. Link to buy the ticket is also in the description. And if you already missed this podcast, no worries. Like, we can keep updated with your website. Your website. Okay, sure. All that in the description down below. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next podcast.